Slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the momerades outgrave.
Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub-bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch.
He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back.
And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Oh, come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, frabjous day, callooh, callay!
He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the momerades outgrave.
And what's to gyre and to gimble?
To gyre is to go round and round like a gyroscope, and to gimble is to make holes like a gimlet.
Very poetic.
Yeah, I can repeat poetry as well if it comes to that.
Oh, it needn't come to that.
The piece I'm going to repeat was written entirely for your amusement.
Thank you.
There was an old man of Marseilles whose daughters wore bottle green veils. They caught several fish, which they put in a dish and sent to their pa at Marseilles.
The limerick was very popular when Lear was young. He published dozens of them in his books for children. Many learned gentlemen have puzzled over the meaning of runcible. The Oxford English Dictionary maintains that a runcible spoon is a kind of fork with 3 broad prongs or tines, one having a sharp edge curved like a spoon, used with pickles, etc.
So now you know.
Well, that doesn't explain why Lear described his hat, his cat, a goose and a wall as being runcible. He called them nonsenses. But T.S. Eliot said, it's not nonsense, it's a parody of sense. That's the sense of it.
They went to sea in a sieve, they did. In a sieve they went to sea. In spite of all their friends could say, on a winter's morn, on a stormy day, in a sieve they went to sea. And when the sieve turned round and round, and everyone cried,
You'll all be drowned.
they called aloud,
Our sieve ain't big, but we don't care a button.
We don't care a fig.
In a sieve we'll go to sea.
far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. They sailed away in a sieve, they did. In a sieve they sailed so fast, with only a beautiful pea-green veil tied with a ribbon by way of a sail to a small tobacco-piped mast. And everyone said who saw them go,
Oh, won't they be soon upset, you know, for the sky's dark and the voyage is long.
And happen what may, it's extremely wrong in a sieve to sail so fast.
far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live.
Their heads are green.
And their hands are blue.
And they went to sea in a sieve. The water, it soon came in, it did. The water, it soon came in. So to keep them dry, they wrapped their feet in a pink paper all folded neat. And they fastened it down with a pin. And they passed to the night in a crockery jar. And each of them said,
How wise we are! Though the sky be dark and the voyage be long, yet we never can think we were rash or wrong, while round in our sieve we spin.
Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live.
Their heads are green.
And their hands are blue.
and
And they went to sea in a sieve.
And all night long they sailed away, and when the sun went down, they whistled and warbled a moony song to the echoing sound of a coppery gong in the shades of the mountains brown.
Oh, Timberlow, how happy we are when we live in a sieve and a crockery jar, and all night long in the moonlight pale we sail away with a pea-green sail in the shade of the mountains brown.
Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live.
Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve.
They sailed to the western sea, they did, to a land all covered with trees. And they bought an owl, and a useful cart, and a pound of rice, and a cranberry tart, and a hive of silvery bees. And they bought a pig, and some green jackdaws, and a lovely monkey with lollipop paws, and 40 bottles of Ringbo Ree, and no end of Stilton cheese.
Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live.
Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve.
And in 20 years they all came back. In 20 years or more, and everyone said,
How tall they've grown, for they've been to the lakes and the Tolerable Zone and the hills of the Chankly Bore.
and they drank their health and gave them a feast of dumplings made with beautiful yeast. And everyone said,
If we only live, we too will go to sea in a sieve to the hills of the Chankly Bore.
far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve. But it didn't work out so happily for everyone.
When awful darkness and silence reign over the great Gromboolian plain, through the long, long wintry nights when the angry breakers roar as they beat on the rocky shore, when storm clouds brood on the towering heights of the hills of the Chankly Bore, then through the vast and gloomy dark there moves what seems a fiery spark, a lonely spark with silvery rays piercing the coal black night. A meteor strange and bright. Hither and thither the vision strays, a single lurid light. Slowly it wanders, pauses, creeps. Anon it sparkles, flashes and leaps. And ever as onward it gleaming goes, a light on the bong tree stems it throws. And those who watch at that midnight hour, from hall or terrace or lofty tower, cry as the wild light passes along,
The dong! The dong! The wandering dong through the forest goes. The dong! The dong! The dong with the luminous nose.
Long years ago the dong was happy and gay, till he fell in love with a Jumbly girl who came to those shores one day. For the Jumblies came in a sieve, they did, landing at eve near the Zemery Fid, where the oblong oysters grow. And the rocks are smooth and grey, and all the woods and the valleys rang with the chorus they daily and nightly sang.
Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, when they went to sea in a sieve.
Happily, happily passed those days, while the cheerful Jumblies stayed. They danced in circlets all night long to the plaintive pipe of the lively dong, in the moonlight shine or shade. For day and night he was always there, by the side of the Jumbly girl so fair, with her sky-blue hands and her sea-green hair. Till the morning came of that hateful day, when the Jumblies sailed in their sieve away, and the dong was left on the cruel shore, gazing, gazing for evermore, ever keeping his weary eyes on that pea-green sail on the far horizon, singing the Jumbly chorus still as she sat all day on the grassy hill.
Far and few are the lands where the Jumblies live. Their heads are green and their hands are blue, and they went to sea in a sieve.
But when the sun was low in the west, the dong arose and said,
What little sense I once possessed has quite gone out of my head.
and since that day he wanders still by lake and forest, marsh and hill, singing,
Oh, somewhere in valley or plain might I find my Jumbly girl again. For ever I'll seek by lake and shore till I find my Jumbly girl once more.
playing a pipe with silvery squeaks, since then his Jumbly girl he seeks. And because by night he could not see, he gathered the bark of the twangum tree on the flowery plain that grows. And he wove him a wondrous nose of vast proportions and painted red, and tied with cords to the back of his head. In a hollow rounded space it ended, with a luminous lamp within suspended, and with holes all round to send the light in gleaming rays on the dismal night. And now each night and all night long, over those plains still roams the dong, while ever he seeks, but seeks in vain, to meet with his Jumbly girl again. And all who watch at the midnight hour, from hall or terrace or lofty tower, cry as they trace the meteor bright moving along through the dreary night.
This is the hour when forth he goes, the dong with the luminous nose. Yonder, over the plain he goes, he goes, he goes, the dong with the luminous nose.
It was not all gaiety with Caroll either. Take, for instance, the tale of the White Knight. I'll